Brett Tolman, Executive Director of Right on Crime. Good to have you here with us. Listen to Fani Willis, who says the train's coming.
All while that was going on, we were writing responsive briefs. We were still doing the case in the way that it needed to be done. I don't feel like we've been slowed down at all. I do think that there are efforts to slow down this train, but the train is coming.
Brett, size it up for us. What do you see?
Well, it's interesting analogy. I'm not sure whether there's an engine still attached to this train or what's going on. Look, they have a couple of issues and problems with this case. You have certainly the underlying potential investigation of Fani Willis herself and possibly the expenditure illegally of federal funds. I know that's will continue to be something that hobbles the district attorney. But think about the case itself against Donald Trump. I have yet to see, Dana and Bill, any evidence that Donald Trump solicited or asked an individual, whether someone that has authority in this instance, to ignore the law or to bend the law or to outright break the law. And without that, there is strength to the argument that the First Amendment does protect an individual. Mm-hmm. We see politicians for decades have been claiming that elections were rigged or that they were fake or that they were going to still win and pull out the victory in this case. So it's questionable what factual pattern that they're pursuing. And it seems they ignore the fact that the law really does require that level of criminal intent.
Okay, so they're going to argue two motions today. We'll see whether or not they succeed. But Ashley Merchant is one of Trump's attorneys. She was on Fox and Friends First earlier today. Here's how she laid it out. And just listen to what she talks about a court winning in a court at some point. Let's watch this. Ashley Merchant from about 5:50 Eastern time this morning. Watch.
And if you look at that order, you can tell he made some really strong factual findings that support a conflict. So we're going to be arguing that his decision actually should have gone farther and it should have actually disqualified her because he gave us all the factual findings we need. We just now need a court to say that's too much. That's enough. She's got to be disqualified.
So, Brett, the line for me is we just now need a court to say that's too much. When does that happen? Which court does that? Where could they win, if at all?
It was doubtful that this judge, who has significant ties to the county attorney's office, to Fani Willis herself, was going to actually recuse Fani in this case and order that either the attorney general or another county pick up the case. Although she's accurate, the facts are there. And think about this, Bill. The one thing that's really puzzling, he found that there was, in fact, circumstances that justified that the prosecutor's office had been compromised, the finding that they had been compromised in this particular case. That finding is always construed against the county attorney, not a contract attorney that's coming in and maybe working on the case. It is construed against the county attorney who's elected and is held to a higher standard. So the court now that has to review this is the appellate court, in which they are arguing that he got it wrong. And in fact, in his own ruling, think about this, in his own ruling, he gave some premonition that he himself was insecure about the decision, arguing that the law was not terribly clear, that he could be getting it wrong. Those are all words for an appellate court to seize on and to really analyze this case in a new and probably a better light than the initial district judge.
Okay, Brett, stand by one moment. Just